Hello, happiness abounder, and welcome back. First off, thank you so much for bearing with me over the last couple of days. This is a Monday recording, which is usually the start of a new theme week, but Thursday and Friday of last week, I actually had to go out of town for a business trip, and I overestimated my ability to record podcasts coming back from traveling. I was frankly very exhausted, and it was really nice to take a break. So I appreciate you bearing with me as I was able to take that break, and also so grateful that you are now tuning back in to get the rounding episodes of our discussion all about overcoming procrastination. So that said, today I want to talk about a question you can ask yourself that can really unlock why you are procrastinating. And that question is, why does this thought, situation, etc., make me uncomfortable? And that really is the crux of today's episode. Why does blank make me feel uncomfortable? Why does calling the doctor's office and scheduling an appointment make me feel uncomfortable? In my case, this is one of my biggest procrastination pieces. I don't know what it is, but I don't really like being on the phone unless it has a definitive purpose and the other person knows that purpose as well. When I'm calling to set like a doctor's appointment, I always feel like I need to have my insurance ready. I have to do all this research and all of these things, and it makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm unprepared and it's a space that I don't deal in all the time. So what do? I clean my house, I scroll social media, and I do all of these things to procrastinate against setting things in order and then calling the doctor's office. So that's an example of something that makes me uncomfortable and why it makes me uncomfortable. Big presentation at work. Maybe you have a lot to do, but you're putting it off to the last minute and you're finding, oh, an email here. I don't really need to attend that meeting, but I can. And so it's stopping and taking a breath and saying, why does doing a presentation in this meeting make me uncomfortable? Is it because I'm a little fearful about public speaking? Is it because it's a topic I'm not very knowledgeable in? Is it because I don't know how to put together a slide deck? There can be so many facets of this, but once you dive into the reasons why you feel uncomfortable, you can start to see past the feeling of uncomfortable and see the action items in their smaller forms to help you get through the procrastination. So if I go back to this idea of calling the doctor's office, it makes me feel uncomfortable because I don't really know what I'm talking about and I feel unprepared. How do you feel prepared? First off, you start by finding your insurance card. Check. Then you go online and you see what providers are in or doctors are under that insurance in your area. Check. Now I have a phone number. I have my calendar in front of me so I know what days I can go. Have my insurance card. I know that they're in my insurance. Now I feel a little bit better prepared to make that phone call and I will be less likely to procrastinate. But if I just was like, I'm uncomfortable, I'm not going to call the doctor, you can see how that can lead to procrastination without action to work through it. And then 3 weeks goes by and you're like, yeah, I really should call the doctor. But now it's been 3 weeks. That idea, that concept, that overwhelm has been building up in my head for 3 weeks. And it feels so much more difficult. Just like anything you put off, right? The longer you wait, the more difficult it feels. It's really interesting too because then sometimes you're like, do I keep going with this or do I just walk away? I have something on that's been on my to-do list for a long time, and it's sending an email to someone about a speaking conference, specifically one surrounding podcasting. And I have not sent this email. And when I ask my question, why does this make me feel uncomfortable? The reason I didn't get to it before was because it was a lower priority on my list and I had a lot of to-do items. But now I feel uncomfortable because it's been a minute and I'm going to be like, hey, do you remember me from a couple weeks ago or a couple conferences ago? And that makes me feel uncomfortable and awkward. So I need to make that decision. Do I send the email or do I let it go? Because the procrastination is just filling up all this time and space and energy in my head. And that could be very much better well spent elsewhere. So, diving in and asking, why does this thought make me uncomfortable? Why does this situation make me uncomfortable? And then diving into the why of those answers can really open the door to overcoming and really unlocking those things that are blocking you and that are causing procrastination. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I know this is a shorter episode, but I hope that it resonates with you, and I hope you can walk away today asking yourself, why does this make me feel uncomfortable? And then setting yourself up with the answers to help you overcome procrastination. So that said, have a wonderful day. Ask yourself those questions, and above everything else, remember, you are capable of happiness abound.